Hi, I'm Dr. Hannes Dreyer from the Wealth Creators Method, where our mission is to help you to create, to grow, to protect, and to enjoy your wealth. And welcome to the Quantum Awakening Crash Course. You're going to learn the psychology, the science, and the art of setting and achieving power goals. So let's start off with a question. Do you know that you can have it all? And I really mean it all. You can have all the freedom, the abundance, the joy, the fulfillment, all the health and the wealth and the happiness that you desire. And to most people, this sounds impossible. But just follow me and you're going to see during this course that this is actually your birthright. All you have to do is to wake up from this dream that we've got, this so-called reality. To some people, by the way, this is more a nightmare than just a normal dream. And then you have to claim your abundance, and you have to take the action to claim that, because no one else is going to give that to you. And this is what we're going to do during this crash course. Awake and become aware of the greatness that is within us. And the moment that happens, that is where the awakening is going to happen. But this awakening cannot happen in this third dimensional world that we're living in this what we call space-time world. It can only happen in the quantum or the fifth dimension, and that is called the time-space reality. And this is why we call this crash course the Quantum Awakening. So where on earth do we start? Since we are living in this dream, we can start by dreaming big. And this is where I suggest that you start. And dream so big that the audacity of the dream wakes us up to take real action. And then to turn those big unrealistic dreams into big audacious goals, and we call those goals power goals. Now, this unrealistic dream is going to sound unrealistic to everyone that's listening to you, but for you it's not unrealistic, because that is your dream. That is what's going to motivate you in order to tackle this dream. So here's a question: why do we start off with goals? Now, the reason why we start off is because a goal gives you direction. It gives you a target. It gives you something to aim for. And then, more important than that, a way to measure your progress. Now, here's something else. If you've got a goal, but there's no action, in other words, you can't measure the progress, then that dream is in the third dimension. And it's only going to stay a dream. It will never become a reality. Now, Earl Nightingale defines success as the progressive realization of a worthy goal. And any worthy goal is always a power goal. So let's start off with that worthy, big, audacious goal that you've got. And each and every time that we take action to get just a little bit closer to our goal, it means that we are becoming better, that we are becoming more successful. And we all know by now that success breeds success. And to become successful is actually very easy. All you have to do is to get the right information or the right skills in the right order for the level of the game that we're at. And then we have to do it, because that is what's going to make this a reality. And you will never have a dream unless you've got the ability to make that dream come true, no matter how crazy that dream may sound. But because most people do not understand the psychology, the science, and the art of goal setting, simply because, let's face it, no one is teaching this, and you've never learned this at school or varsity or anywhere else, they're going to fail. And they will never live this life of abundance where they can experience true wealth, health, and happiness. So why do you want to set power goals, or these big audacious goals? Power goals allow you to live a remarkable life of joy, fulfillment, happiness, success, and abundance on all areas of wealth. Now, normally when we say wealth, people associate that with financial wealth. But when you look at the root word of wealth, W-E-A-L, well, it actually means well-being. And that is what we want. We want to have that well-beingness in all areas of our lives. So when I refer to wealth, I refer to the state of well-being. And this simply means that your state, in fact, your entire life is about to change for the better, and your transformational journey starts right now. The truth why people suffer is because what we know about creating and living a life of abundance, of wealth, of health and happiness is incomplete. We seek answers and advice and empowerment and guidance and wisdom externally, outside of us. But in reality, nobody can really tell you what's best for you, what you should do, and how you should live. And the only person who really knows exactly what is best for you is, guess who? That's right, it's you. You already have all the answers. You already possess all the wisdom that you need and that you want to resolve any challenges, problems, and issues that you might be facing today. And I know it sounds unrealistic and unreal, but this is the truth, and this is what you're going to find out. And you possess this ability to move forward in your life, to grow and to evolve by living a remarkable life of joy, fulfillment, happiness, success, and abundance in all 7 areas of wealth. Now, let's look a little bit deeper into these areas. There's the spiritual, the mental, the physical, the family or friends, then the social, the financial, and of course our vocation. Now, our vocation can be your profession or your job, or sometimes even your business. And the truth is that the only thing you really need and start doing more often is to communicate with yourself more often and on a deeper level. And that is actually the trick. And there is no better way to understand and to connect with yourself than through the power morphing process. Now, of course, I'm going to explain the process a little bit later in this course because it is so powerful. And how you can use this power morphing process when you set your own power goals. This is really important. So the biggest problem that we face is unless we understand this process, we cannot get the benefits. And that is to have the joy and the fulfillment, the happiness, success, and abundance on all areas of wealth. So where on earth do we start? We start by setting power goals. Now, what on earth is a power goal? In short, it is your personal big audacious goal, but you put it literally on steroids. In other words, you're going to achieve it a lot easier and a lot faster than any other method that's available. So let's start with your goals. What are your goals? I want you basically to pause this recording for a moment and start writing them down. And if you want to, please share that in the comment section. And once you're done, you can continue. Now, perhaps let's put this a little bit differently. Instead of a goal, you can also say, but what is it that you want in life? And I want you to write it down. And once you've got it, then come back and let's continue. Now, this was actually a loaded request, and you will discover the reason why just now. So, what do you want? Do you want a Ferrari or a Bentley or a helicopter or a game farm or a bigger house? Or maybe you want $1 million or rands or pounds or euros per month. Or maybe you want just to lose weight or to find a job or a better job. Or maybe you want better relationships, or you want to become a manager, or you want to get a degree, or maybe you want to finish a degree. Or maybe you want to start a business or grow an existing business. Or maybe you just want to retire early. Or maybe you want financial freedom or time freedom. I've got no idea what it is that you want. Or maybe you just want to provide for your parents, or perhaps send your kids to a decent school or varsity. Unfortunately, the truth is that more than 99% of the world's population will never get these dreams. They will never manifest. They will never make these dreams come true. So the question then is, but why not? Because they do not know how to set power goals. You see, this system that we're in, this dream in the third dimension, is keeping us enslaved to this third dimension. And one of the strategies that they use, there's of course a lot, but one of them that they teach is to set SMART goals, because we know that we need the goal, and then they come and they say, but you have to have SMART goals. Right. Now, what does SMART goal stand for? The S, it's an acronym, and the S stands for to be specific. The M stands for it must be measurable. The A stands for achievable. The R for realistic, and the T for timely. And that is a SMART goal. Now, if I say that 99% of the world's population will never be able to achieve their goals, it's because they follow this strategy, and this strategy is not working. And that's the reason. It's not difficult to see, because if 99% of the people do not achieve this, and even if 5 or 10% knows about this strategy and they follow it, why is it that only less than 1% really is happy, successful, and fulfilled in their lives. You see, here's the trick. Unless you set these big, audacious, unrealistic goals, goals that are really going to scare you, goals that others will say, this is impossible, you will never experience a life of abundance. So perhaps let's make this more realistic. Let me give you an example of my latest power goal. Let's assume that you were on my database on the 15th of April 2019. And on that day, you receive an email from me. Or perhaps you saw this on Facebook or on YouTube. On Facebook, I had a post, and on YouTube, I posted a video. And basically, it says that my next goal is to invest a maximum of $1 and grow it before the 15th of April 2020 to a minimum of $70,000 in a cryptocurrency portfolio. And by the way, this is where you can find it. You can go out and have a look at it. It's on YouTube, and there's the link. So why did I set this goal? Well, there's a bigger goal, and the bigger goal is that I want to travel at least 52 countries in less than 52 weeks, costing me less than $1. Now, that is only part of the goal, because if you listen to the video, you're going to hear that by the end of that trip, I will still have more than $70,000 in my cryptocurrency portfolio. In other words, I'm going to live, I'm going to pay for the expenses, I'm going to do everything, and when I came back, there's actually going to be more money than when I started by using this money. Now, here's my question. What will your reaction be? What I want you to do is to pause this for a moment and give me that reaction in the comment section. Now, most people will not even do this, because what I found was that the majority of people, it sounds so untrue, so impossible, so it's too good to be true, that they did not even listen to the video or read the script. Now, by the way, this is the plan. Now, initially, when we started off, this is the planning phase. That's a vehicle that I've prepared. By the way, it's costing me nothing. That's the end product before the last parts of the rigging. And just to come back to the goal, invest a maximum of $1, and before the 15th of April 2020, have a minimum of $70,000 in a crypto portfolio. So what was your reaction? Now, let's go and have a look at the outcome so far. I'm doing this recording on the 15th of January 2020, so there's basically 3 months left. And at the moment, we're at $97,256. Now, be careful. As you can see, this is extremely volatile. The graph goes up and down, and well, it's in cryptos. and this is what I'm teaching my students is, how do you know when to get in and get out? Of course, I'm not out. That is my part of my portfolio. And as it stands, then tomorrow it may be down or up. I've got no idea. But at the moment, there's 97,256. Now, let's compare that to a SMART goal. So a SMART goal says it must be specific. Was this goal specific? Well, it can't be specific because I said to invest a maximum. So the trick is, what if I can invest less than $1, which by the way I did, and before April 2020? If we look at today, it's the 15th of January, and I'm already far above that goal. So there's a minimum of $70,000, and that's true. I've got more than that, and it's in a crypto portfolio. Now, the next one, what about measurable? Again, it's not specific, it's not measurable. I open it up and say that it's less than $1 and more, or $1 or less, and more than $70,000. Can you see where we're going? In other words, I want to use the fifth dimension, right? This awakening, to help me, to guide me. And for that reason, I don't need to know how I'm going to achieve this goal. And this is way out there for a lot of people, because they're going to say, but how? And the trick is, all you have to do is to follow the wealth creator strategy, which is the intelligent use of limited resources to go from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest possible time with the least amount of risk. And by doing that, you tap directly into the fifth dimension, just by following this strategy. So the next thing is achievable. Now, let's face it. If you think about this, that you can take less than $1 or $1 and you can turn that into more than $90,000. Do you think that that is achievable for the majority of people? Their mind, their subconscious mind, their belief systems are going to stop them right there and say, no ways, this cannot be true. You cannot do it. No one can do it. And that is why so few people actually open the email that I've sent them or watch the video. Is this realistic? You see, power goals are never realistic. And the reason for that is if you look from $1 to $97,000, it gives you a growth rate. And we always measure the growth because the growth measure your skills. And remember, in order to become successful, I need to get the right information, which is the right skills, in the right order for the level of the game. And that skill set is always measured in terms of growth. So the growth on this portfolio so far is 9.7 million. Now, of course, it can go down or it can go up, but that's what it stands for at today if I would cash in. Now, is that realistic? No, it's not realistic. If you go to a fund manager or your financial planner and you say to them something like this, they're going to say that you are crazy. And these are crazy goals. And this is what I want you to get. It's a big, audacious goal. It is not a normal goal, because a normal goal is going to keep you within this reality. And you cannot grow and progress and become the best that you can be within this reality. Your mind needs to be in the fifth dimension, in the quantum. And therefore, we need to wake up to this. Is this timely? Again, the way that I specifically set up the goal is that what if I can achieve that goal in far less time? So if you look at the Wealth Creator strategy, it's the intelligent use of limited resources to go from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest possible time with the least amount of risk. Why wait for a year or 5 years or 10 years if you can achieve a goal in literally, if the universe open up and it gives you it in, let's say, 2 weeks. Now, it sounds incredible. It sounds crazy. Let me give you another example. You know, in 1994, the previous year, I was quarter of the table in the financial planning industry. Quarter of the table is the top 1% in the world. And in January, I sat down and I set a power goal. And there's a very specific way to set a power goal through the power morphing process. I set a power goal, and that power goal was to be in the top of the table for that year. Now, what is the top of the table? It means in that industry around and throughout the world, it's only the top 1% of the top 1% that can qualify for that accolade, starting from the 1st of January up to the 31st of December for that year. And guess what happened? I had no idea, because I don't need to know how I'm going to achieve it, but I need to follow the process. I had no idea how I would achieve it. The end of January, the last week, everything changes. And by the first week, the end of the first week in February, that Friday, I've already achieved this goal. And I was part of the top 1% of the top 1% in the world. Now, when I set the goal, even to me, it sounded, flip, this is impossible, from 1% to the top 1% of the top 1%. And this is the power of power goals. So let's have a look at power goals. And this is where the psychology, science, and art of setting power goals come in. Now, there are basically 9 steps that we need to follow, and each and every step has got steps within it. So if there's 9 steps that we need to follow, then it can be in 9 positions. So we take each and every step, put it in a position, and there are 9 positions. The moment that we've got 2 options with 9 steps each, we're going to find now it becomes a little bit more complicated, because there is 9 and this is 9. But the moment that we can mix and match, we're going to find that it's 9 to the power of 2, which is 81. So if we have got only 6, we're going to get more than 500,000 permutations of different options. And of course, if we take all 9, we're going to have more than 387 million different options. And this is where the guidance of a mentor or a coach comes in. Someone that has done it before, and preferably someone that has done it more than once, that understand this process, that apply this process, and that can give you that process. And this is exactly what I want to do. But for this course, this crash course, I'm only going to focus on the first 6 steps. And the reason for that is, unless we can lay a strong foundation, it is actually useless to start with the rest. Now, it sounds like a very complicated process, and it's going to take a little bit of time. But just imagine how you can change your life if you start following this. And here's my guarantee to you. By the end of this crash course, you'll be in a position to know how to set those goals and some tricks in order to speed up the process in order to make those big, audacious power goals of you come true. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.